Morning, AP Lang teachers. My name is Tim Moxey from Lower Moreland High School in Pennsylvania, and I'd like to take a minute or two or four to talk to you about a strategy that many of us use when introducing our students to rhetorical analysis. It's not the only one. I use it because it's simple, works for my kids. If you're seeing this, it's probable that your consultant has taught you a different one and is giving this to you as background, as enrichment. SOAPS is what we're talking about. Those of you who know about this know that S is for speaker, O is for the occasion, A is for audience, P is for purpose, and S is for the subject. And there is my big joke of the day, and well, the second biggest. Let me get rid of the first biggest. There you go. So to give students this, you can see that it matches up pretty nicely with the rhetorical triangle. And so it's a way for them to, as they read something, and I would say to them, every time I give you something, especially with shorter things, non-book length things, I want you to apply SOAPS to it. And in the beginning, they like it because it's a little bit of a checkbox. I think that's the thing we have to guard against. So, for example, the speaker, if I give them a speech by President Obama, and I say, who's the speaker? And they say, well, it's President Obama. Well, there's more to it than that, isn't there? Is he the president when he makes that speech, or was he a candidate at the time? Or is it a post-presidential speech? What else do we know about him? First African-American president, family man, was a constitutional scholar. There are all things around the speaker that we want them to start to broaden that understanding of what a speaker brings or a writer brings to the piece. Occasion, you may recall that in my earlier slide, I had exigence here next to occasion. And I did that because last year with the new CED, exigent showed up as a term, even in a post-term AP world, that we really needed to know and needed to teach our students, and some teachers were freaking out about that. I don't think it's really anything that we haven't done before. It's just if you think of the word occasion, I turn it into a verb. Occasioned. What occasioned the speech? What made it happen? And depending on what you're looking at, can be difficult for students. Audience, I focused a lot on that relationship again between speaker and audience, because really that is one of the main things that we have to shift when we're talking about rhetorical analysis and the AP language course. And purpose and subject, just to keep those separate, students easily conflate those, that the subject might be war, but the purpose is to argue against it or to argue for it. And even in talking about that, you can feel how these things overflow into each other. And of course, these are AP students, they're motivated students, and they want the right answer and they want the good grade. And so it's easy for this to turn into a checkbox. And I think that's the thing that we want to avoid, that it's okay if these things overflow, that these are not one-word answers, because early on they can label that speaker. But that only gets us to the that instead of the how and the why, which is where we need to be if we're going to talk about writers' choices. So one of the things I like to do to avoid that is, if I give them the SOAPs to do and read something for homework and SOAP it, and they get into that habit, when they come into class, prior to our discussing it as a large group, maybe put them in small groups, and of course give them some kind of graphic organizer. Now, in this one, I have 3 letters on the left that they've read, and I want them to see the similarities and differences among the letters. But if you look across the top, those labels of the columns do not use the language of speaker, occasion, audience, etc. But really, that's what they are. In fact, I put the audience and the writer together in the same column. So what this does is they're using the understanding that SOAPS is supposed to give them to try to clarify what's actually happening in this particular piece of writing, and they are analyzing with that understanding, and they don't even necessarily know they're doing it, because in the end, these things match up to speaker, occasion, audience, and purpose, and subject. So what that does is use the strategy to understand the relationship between and among these things, as opposed to, again, just being a fill-in-the-blank worksheet type thing. So there it is. I hope it's helpful, and best wishes to you.